Welcome to week 7. Well, it's all happening now because it's at this point where you either sort of check out and really lose your connection to the unit, or alternatively, you really make the connection to the unit and the rest of the unit makes perfect sense and just rolls straight through. That's just the way it is, right? The way the unit's structured, it provides you with opportunities to both get lost and to find something really important. The unit is predicated on a very simple assumption, one that goes back many hundreds of years. It is impossible to avoid the connection between your inner world and your outer world. This unit is designed very much around helping you to discover important aspects of you. They're always there. You already discovered them in one sense, but maybe that you haven't been as mindful about them. And to be able to see aspects of your outer world in new and clearer ways. Okay? So, I'm hoping that I see the vast majority of you there on Saturday. Now, I appreciate many of you have already contacted me, say you've got sports, work, and another commitment. If you're not coming because you can't be bothered, don't come back at the end of the semester and say, I'm not happy with my mark. Right? You just can't engage with this unit successfully if you're not coming along and attending. Okay? Yes, you can watch the recorded session, right? And that's why we record it for people in that situation. It's not going to be the same as having the nature of the interaction with the people. If you're not coming because you have a fear of presenting, it's a 20-second to 1-minute presentation, guys. It's a fun and supportive atmosphere that surrounds those presentations. So that should not be an issue for any of you, okay? We mentioned the personality test right back at the beginning. It's in the announcement section on Blackboard. If you didn't do it last time, good time to do it now. Go back and look at your results. That's always a good idea. I've had a bit of feedback from people saying, oh, the group's not functioning very well, this person isn't turned up, whatever. If they haven't turned up, don't worry about them. Nothing about the group work is being assessed. Your individual take on the group process and the thinking there, that's being assessed. So if someone doesn't come along, don't worry about them. It's got nothing to do with your mark, okay? Some people have said, there's been a bit of disagreement in the group, we're all going to present this idea, we sort of agree on that, but, I'm not sure I agree with the logic. That's cool, right? In fact, for many people, when they hand in Section 1 of Interim Learning Report, they may actually tell me, look, the group sort of seems to think this. To be honest with you, I actually think that. I actually think our idea won't work. And if you can explain to me, using the theoretical concepts that you've been given, resource profiles, legitimacy, value creation processes, and your selective and ecological environments, if you can tell me why you think it won't work, fantastic, all right? You're not trying to convince me your idea is brilliant. You're trying to demonstrate you understand these theoretical concepts that are noted and are the focus of Section 1. So you should have been in the readings, QUT readings, you should have been in there making sure you really do understand, say, the logic of the value creation processes, value shop, value chain, value networks, all right? You should be able to bring that through. Now, I've also had a lot of queries from people about referencing. Should I reference? You can say selection, Aldridge, 1999. I'm happy for you to reference that, but don't tell me Aldridge says selection is, and then give me another 50 words on what Aldridge says. If you do that 10 times, you've just used half your words on referencing. I don't need to know that you know what Aldridge says. I want you to use the 1,000 words as best you can to show me you understand how to use the concepts identified in the task instructions to explain why you think you could create some value doing something, or why you think you couldn't create value, right? Or where you think there might be challenges in trying to create that value, okay? So don't get confused with writing a beautifully referenced piece of work that doesn't show me how you understand how those concepts are integrated and can be used in your own words to explain the possible value creation of your group's idea. All right? Don't get confused. It's not that referenced piece of work. It's you, and where I get most excited when I read through it, and you're using all of the things interchangeably. When you talk about legitimacy, you think, that means selection must be in play. And when you bring selection in there, maybe you're thinking how that relates to value creation. The more you integrate your use of the concepts, the easier it is for me to say, you really understand this stuff, all right? If you just use them separately and they don't really connect, it just looks like you might be telling me that you understand how each concept relates individually to your idea, but not in an integrated way. So aim for integration. At the very end of your section 1, you're going to have a nice summary with a CPS statement or a COS statement. So it could be customer problem solution, but it could be customer opportunity solution, where your focus is. It's entirely up to you, but it should be 3 or 4 sentences, and it's going to be a really tight, compelling statement about why you think you're going to create this value or why you think you might not create the value. And it's the summary of the other 800 odd words that you've written above, right? And I'm looking for it to be compelling, okay? Still getting a few queries about the structure and process of section 2 in your reflection. Your question is, to what extent do you recognize an entrepreneurial self in your everyday life? That's your starting point. So you should have reflected on that. And once you've reflected on that, you should come to something, hopefully, that is something that you recognize for the first time. Yeah, that's different for me. I recognize this. However it is you visualize and make sense of an entrepreneurial self, that's for you. There's no right or wrong on that. That's just for you. But having got to that point where you recognize something new, that means you're ready to address the first of the 7 supporting questions, okay? And the way you address those 7 supporting questions is exactly like the examples on Blackboard. I should see the why very clearly laid out roughly 5 times for each of those 7 supporting questions. So that means when I read your work, I should see somewhere between 30 and 40 whys across those 7 questions. I should see the why. And the reason I want to see the why is because it helps me to know when you have reflected. Okay? When you make a statement, this makes me feel uncomfortable. Why? Because I've never had this opportunity to X, Y, and Z. So I know exactly the point at which you've actually said, this is what I believe, this is what I feel. Why? So now, what did that reflection look like? Is it horizontal? You're just explaining what you just said. It's a bit diagonal. You're telling me a little bit how you feel while you're explaining. Or it's vertical, because you've actually explored what you just said. And that's what I'm looking for you to do. Make a statement, explore it vertically through the why, put another why in, explore that again vertically through the why, and you keep going down and down and down. Very important that you watch the video on using the STEPS model, because it'll help you to understand how the 7 questions are directly related and indirectly related, okay? And that'll help you to keep that questioning process of your own mind going in the right direction, okay? What else did I have to talk to you about? The presentation is just fun, guys. Just come along and enjoy the actual process. When you've done your business model canvas, you should have done that for the group. If you end up having to do it by yourself, that's fine. Take a picture of it. Don't put the whole document in. Just with your handwritten notes on it, take a picture of it, and then you can post that one, and it could be the same picture you use for the whole group. That's fine, right? Turnitin won't compare it. It's an image, so that's fine. What Turnitin will do is, if you're stupid enough to get someone in your group's assignment and says, just let me have a look at it so I can get a bit of an idea for how you approached it. 1, whoever lent it, you're going to end up with no marks. And 2, the person who did it is going to end up with no marks as well. All right? Really serious stuff, guys. I've only had 1 student who's attempted to do something like this, which meant we had 2 students in the problem. Just write your own work, okay? Turn it in. As soon as you put it in, it's just going to tell me straight away, bang, there's a big thing. Now, most people's work is going to be 10 to 15% the same. Why? Because you're all using the same heading for all of those supporting questions in section 2, right? So it already tells me that you've already got this similarity. But when your work goes to 30 or 40% or above, the alarm bells, and I can't ignore it. It's out of my hands. I have to hand it straight over and say we've got a misconduct problem here. Don't do it, guys. All right? Don't do it. If you haven't got your work organised, you're better off to ring me and say, hey, Cole, can I have an extension for a few days so that I can actually get this done in my own time? I'd much prefer to support you there than I would to have to deal with you and say, I don't know why you would have gone off and copied someone else's work. You can't, even if you take someone's work and you go, I'll change a few words here, I'll change a few words there. Turn it in is not stupid, right? The underlying logic of what's been written, if it's been repeated somewhere else, it will find it. So don't do that. We don't need it. I've already been asked by people, could I give you a draft of my work? And the answer to that is no. 300 students in the class. If I take 5-10 minutes to look at everyone's work, that's a week or 2 weeks of my time that I'm going to spend looking at drafts. So I clearly don't have that time to be able to do such a thing. I'm happy to look at a paragraph of your section 2 if you're really feeling uncomfortable. You shouldn't be. You've got 3 examples sitting on Blackboard. That shows you exactly how it should look, okay? What you see there is exactly what I should be reading from you. Sometimes students take the Y out thinking, oh, that's just like in there to guide me. No. That's there so I can see when you're actually asking of yourself, what have I just said and why do I say it, okay? So I'll be holding Zoom sessions next week during the day of an evening. And so if you've got queries and you want to have a bit of a chat about that, that's all good, all right? Don't panic. It'll be fine, okay? What else did we have to discuss? I think that's most probably about it. Come along with an open mind. Let's have some fun. The session should run through to 12:30, I would think, this weekend, depending on how long it is the sessions are. Remember, a 20-second to 1 minute presentation lasts for that long. A 2-minute presentation lasts for that long. We're not doing 2-minute presentations, guys. You do the maths. If 50 groups do 2-minute presentations, that's 2 hours that we're going to spend on the presentations. If we do that, we'll be there till 2 o'clock, okay? So you don't have to come along and justify what your group is doing. Just come along and tell us what your area of focus is, right? That's all you need to do. Look at the questions. What problem or opportunity are you addressing? That's it. That takes you 10-15 seconds. What value are you going to try and create for someone? That takes you 10 or 15 seconds. How are you going to capture or create this value? That might take you 20 or 30 seconds. It's a 1-minute presentation. For some of you, your ideas are pretty simple. It's 20 seconds, right? And that's it. Just tell us where you're at. Put a little stake in the ground, and that's it. That enables us to listen to where you're at, give you some basic feedback, and that feedback will ultimately be incorporated into your final learning report, okay? Looking forward to meeting you all again. Bring along some energy. I'll think of something that we can do to start the day on a high note. See you then.